Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. We are in a default skin, and a lot of you may know what that means. We have a brand new mod releasing. This mod is the Copper Age Plus, expanding upon Minecraft 1.21.9. Now we've done this for a few years now, and the mod has always been called the update name and then plus on the end. There are some new rules since Spring to Life, where CurseForge don't allow you to upload a mod with a Minecraft update name, as it's licensed by Minecraft. So since Spring to Life, you can still download the mods, but they are called something else. And although this is going to be known as the 1.21.9 Plus mod, the official name for it is the Age of Ores. And the first ones we are going to cover is copper buttons and copper pressure plates. Copper buttons are like so. These are buttons that can be pressed, but they only stay active for a very split second. Now, there are probably going to be a lot of people asking for these to change how long they are active, depending on the oxidation stage. And at the moment, we don't feel that is fitting to Minecraft. No copper feature in Minecraft that changes functions the more it is oxidized, so it might be a bit inconsistent. Now, I know there are probably going to be some people saying copper bulbs. They have a visual that they change light level. The buttons don't have any visual, so if you would place one of these down and it oxidizes, and then it oxidizes to this version, and this version stays active for a little bit longer, that could break a farm. Now, depending on feedback, we might look into some ways to make this work. Copper pressure plates are a new pressure plate type block, but they are only active by players. So if I walk on them, you can see they are being activated. If I throw an item on them, they do not get activated. And also, if any other mob walks on them, they will not be activated. So they are really cool to set outside your house, so you can enter, but things like zombies can't. They can also be waxed if you don't want them to oxidize anymore, and you can also scrape the oxidation stages off them. This also works for the buttons. You can wax them, and you can also scrape the oxidation off them with an axe. So that's the first two features. Now, once again, I quickly just want to say, if you do have any feedback or suggestions for the mod, do let us know in the comments. We will be working on a version 2 of the mod, where we add some more new features, as well as improve some things that you guys suggested. Now, the next new block I want to cover is the filter. This matches with the shelf part of the update. Now, this mod was worked on before we knew the name of the update. And what does a filter block do? Well, you can put a filter within the block. As you can see, we now have a crafting table as the filter, and only crafting tables will be able to enter this block. So I'll quickly just set up a little example right here. We have a filter here with crafting tables. We have a filter here with Amethyst. So if I throw crafting tables in, now I'm not going to throw a stack because we'll be here all day. So if I throw crafting tables in and I also throw Amethyst, let's then also throw some blocks of iron, and let's also throw hoppers. And there we go. The chest is now empty, so let's make sure it did work. In this chest, you can see is the hoppers and the iron. In this chest is the amethyst, and in this chest is the crafting tables. You no longer need to use the hopper systems with comparators and repeaters. Now, you can also just click them again to take the item out. And one thing to note, they do not consume the item. It will not take the item you put in as the filter, and breaking them will not drop the filter because it isn't consumed. Now, inside of 1.21.9, they added copper armor, which is the tier in between stone and iron. Amethyst is the tier in between iron and diamonds. It is the same stats as the iron, but it has a lot more durability. You can see the tools have 763, whereas diamond has, I think, 1000 something. And the iron has, I think, 250. Now, we did also add the amethyst horse armor, which is just matching with the copper horse armor. So if I quickly just tame a horse so we can see it on, you can see it works just like the other ones, but with the amethyst texture. There is a difference though. Amethyst horse armor can be crafted. The only other horse armor that can be crafted is the leather one, and this is crafted with amethyst and also a saddle. So the final thing for the amethyst equipment is the armor. Now you can see the iron durability right here. We then have the amethyst durability right here, and then the diamond durability. One thing I have noticed, we might have to make a patch after this to balance out the durability for the amethyst, because I think it is a bit too close to the diamond. Now, we are not done with features just yet. We still have a few more to showcase. The next set of features come from the oxidized copper. If you place one of these down or have one and you brush it with a brush, after about 3 to 4 seconds, you will get some copper dust. Now you can brush a copper block from the oxidized version up until this version right here. Now, what does copper dust do? Well, it has one use, and that one use is to do with fire. If you have a piece of orange fire within your world and you click a copper dust on that fire, it will turn it into green fire, which matches up with the lanterns as well as the torches. Now, green fire is mainly just decorative, so it will not spread, it will just sit there as a decorative block. It also shouldn't burn wooden blocks. But the green fire does have one more use, and that is that it oxidizes copper a lot quicker. So if you place a copper block above the fire, it will oxidize at a slightly quicker rate. And I am going to quickly just answer a few questions, because I can already see there are going to be a lot of people saying this isn't realistic. Well, it is, because copper oxidizes quicker in real life if there is fire around. You can see these ones are already oxidizing. If I quickly just place a few here, these probably won't age up, but these ones at the back here will. Now, the copper campfire is crafted like so. The logs can be any log type. Also, you can see that these ones have fully oxidized, where these ones haven't even gone up a stage, so it does increase it very quickly. Now, the copper campfire works like the others, where you can put it out with a shovel. For some reason, this one has planted the golden shovels on it. I don't know why that is. You can also ignite them with flint and steels. Okay, it cooks them. I did not know that. You've also seen a spoiler for what the copper campfires do. The copper campfires will cook ores like the blast furnace. Well, for one simple reason, copper is poisonous, so if you cook food on it, that isn't really something we wanted to do. Cooking ores on them is also really cool, because it gives you an alternative way to cook ores without the use of furnaces, blast furnaces, or even coal. The one thing to note though, it takes a very long time to cook. I think it's double if not triple the time of a blast furnace. Now, jumping a bit away from copper, because copper got a lot of love in this update, there were some things that didn't get love, and the first one is iron. We have added a few new decorative iron blocks. The first one is cut iron. Cut iron also comes in slab and stair form. We also have chiseled iron, which makes use of the iron golem. And then we also have iron grates. This is just to add some decorative blocks for iron, because it is just like copper, but it's very boring to build with. And just like iron, we also added some decorative blocks for gold. We added the cut gold as well as slabs and stairs. We also added chiseled gold. We also added gold grates, which are another decorative block with a different texture like the grates. Also, we added a gold door. Once again, to use, these work like iron doors where they have to have redstone to open. Same with the trapdoors, they have to have redstone to open them. And then we also added the gold bars to match up with the copper bars and also iron bars. And then finally, gold chains. All of these blocks are decorative, and the functions just copy how the other blocks in the game work. And then the final blocks for the building sets is amethyst, and this goes along with the amethyst armor. We added amethyst slabs and stairs. We also added amethyst bricks, we added amethyst pillar, we added chiseled amethyst, we also added polished amethyst, and that comes in slabs and stairs. And we added these blocks just to complement the builders, so you now can build with iron, gold, and amethyst. Just covering the recipes for these, you can see the chiseled, you can see the iron grates, we also have the cut right there. Then jumping to the gold, you can see the gold bars, the chiseled, the cut, the gold chains, the gold grates, the door, and the trapdoor. And then the amethyst, you can see, is like so. We have the bricks, we have the pillar, we have the chiseled, and then we have the polished. Now, there is one final thing in this update, which I have left to last, and that is because I think this is one of the best features we've added in this first update. But this next feature cannot be crafted. You have to head underground to find them. And there is one right behind me. There it is right here. This is a Tuff golem. They will randomly be within caves, and they look just like this. You can pick them up with a pickaxe. In this case, we're going to use an amethyst, and you can see it is dropped right here. This is a Tuff statue. Now, this Tuff statue is just decorative, it won't do nothing. There is an Easter egg inside of full moons or on Halloween. I'm not going to cover that, that's for you guys to discover. But upon placing these down, they are purely decorative. They are directional, so you can place them in any direction, but you can give them a carpet to decorate them. So let's give this one a cyan carpet. and upon clicking a carpet on it, that will give it a nice little fancy look. Now, when you give them a carpet, that is when they become functional. If you click a item on the Tuff statue, it will be granted the item and it will display it. Now you can crouch and click to change how the item is displayed. You can see we have it laying flat, big. You can see we have it laying flat, small. And then we also have standing up big and standing up small. And that is just done by crouching. You can toggle between them at any point if you would like. Now, if you click on it while uncrouching, it will take the item back. And upon breaking these, you will get the Tuff statue back, as well as the carpet. One other thing to note is that they will give out a different redstone signal depending on what type of display they have. For example, the laying down big item is a power level of 8. Then the laying down small is 5, the standing up big is 15, and the standing up small is 12. But they do also have another function, and that is if the block is powered. If you were to power the Tuff statue, you can see the eyes will open. So you can also toggle if you want them to be awake when they are holding an item. Once again, they can hold the item and not hold the item while being awake. So you can really customize how these look with the items. So the Tuff statue comes in every single color in Minecraft. Once again, you get all of them by just placing the carpet. And the good thing about them is if you don't like the current carpet color, all you need to do is break them and you get the uncarpeted version back as well as the carpet. Now, one thing to note, if you want the item back with the carpet, you can use Silk Touch. Okay, that is a bug. It's not meant to drop both versions, it's only meant to drop the carpeted version. And once again, every single version can also be powered by redstone to have the open eyes. But one downside to these, there are no Tuff Golem entities. The only way to obtain these is currently the block. Once again, that is something we are looking for feedback on, and if enough people want an entity, we will definitely add one. But we thought a block would be a way cooler way of doing it, and it creates for some more customization. But anyway, that is it for this update. I think we have showcased everything included in update 1. Once again, if you did enjoy this video and if you enjoyed this mod, do like and subscribe as it does really help out. If you have any feedback or suggestions, do let us know in the comments. And I guess I'll see you guys in another one very soon. I'm really happy with how this update turned out. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.